In Angular, there are many ways to share information between components and modules. One such technique is RxJS, where subject as an option. Do you know how to use it in our Angular application? Let us see. Hi all, I'm Lakshman. As a part of Angular Best Practices series, today we are going to see how to implement or use RxJS subject in our Angular application. The things we are going to see is number one, prerequisites, and number two, how to use RxJS subject in Angular application. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. Let us see our prerequisites. By default, it's number one, Node.JS, either CLT version or current version. And number two, it's Angular CLI. If you want to install Angular CLI on your system, use npm install-g at Angular CLI. And to kickstart your first project, type ng new with your first Angular project's name. And number three is Visual Studio Code, the ID which I'm going to use. So these are our prerequisites which we'll be using in this video. And if you require this prerequisite, if it is a default one, required or not, kindly provide some comments on this video's description. So let's move to the next step. This is our Angular best practice source code. Here, what I have created is I have created a subject, a model, and I have created two components against this subject, subject 1 and subject 2, and the main component. And I have created an interface called info where we will be sharing these informations between these three components via RxJS. Let us start implementing this. First step, I have already created a subject as a service. So here we need to configure the subject options here. I already have a snippet which is already exists. So I will copy it and paste it here and install all the dependencies. So this is dependency subject which is RxJS functionality and as well as observables. So when you check for the subject, it asks for the observable where whenever there was a new data comes in, it sends to the all information where the component which is subscribed. That is a mechanism. So instead of any, I'm gonna use info, which is a class which I'm already created for send message and send by whom. So our service ready. What is on info? It's a passes on as observable so that to get it subscribed, and on send info which sends the informations, and on clear info we can clear it. At present we are going to focus only on these two. So let's move on. And this only my application is bit running. So this is the main components, and this is the component 1 and this is the component 2. So at present there also send message is there, but it's not functioning, so we are going to write it. First, let's go to the components, subject components page. So I already predefined all the things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a subscription which is an element of RxJS, comma. So it's where I can subscribe and I can unsubscribe on a desktop. So it's a best practice when you're creating or fetching some information via subscribe. Better declare some variables and unsubscribe on desktop. Subject service dot on info dot subscribe info. This dot info I already have a variable there which is equal to info. Here but I'm going to use this dot subscription dot unsubscribe. So we need to configure this on the both. Well, let's copy it and paste it here to make these things handy. I'm actually gonna pass the information and show the information on all the three components. It's not required, but if you are going to only receive the information from the existing component, you can just subscribe, and the send message option is not required, but this is mandatory. So go to this. Let me save this and copy and paste it here. If we want to share the information which is pretty much has to be inside your application, and we can, which is triggering some information or passing on some information from one component to other. If it is a big object, you could use this methodology or this strategy in your Angular application. So I have subscribed and unsubscribed on all the three components. Let me see. So there was no error. Let me see and inspect the elements. There was no error. So what I am going to currently do is, in the subscription services, there was an option called send info, where I already created a class here. So I'm going to new info. The first is message from main and comma main. So I'm going to save it, and in the HTML I already configured it. This is a simple bootstrap where if the message is available, it will display. If it not, I am indicating with this is optional, because initially there will be no messages, so that you could avoid errors in the browser. On the on click message, send message, I am triggering this method, and let us see. So I have initiated it, and you can see when I send a message from the main, the value is getting updated here as well as in the second component. So let us do this for these two components also. Let's pretty much copy it and paste it here from 1 and from 2. Let's see my application running. Refresh it for a better send. It's from the main, and it's from the 2, and it's from the 1. So when you are working across multiple models and multiple informations, when you are trying to get some information from one model to other model, you can have this subject options, which is model of RxJS. So we can predominantly use this model, and where we can pass our information from the master to child, or from sublinks from one components to other components sublinks. So you can see here, these are two sublinks. So this is the main component, where the 1 and 2 are the sublinks of the main component. So when I click here, the message is from here and message goes to here. When I click here, and the message sent from here and message goes to here. And from the parent, if we need to send some message to the both component, we can send it. If we are working on a single page concept like this, which is I'm using this as a element, so where I can display it here. And one of the biggest advantage of using this is you don't need a local storage for you to share some information from one page to other, so it will be inside your application where now can able to have an access. It's a cool tool, right? So that wrap up our demo on subject using RxJS. And one more thing, and there was one more option which is called behavior subject, where I like this the more. What the main difference between the subject and the behavioral subject? There was a behavioral subject also. The main thing is on subject you can't declare your initial value, but on mini behavioral subject you can declare it. Where if that's the case, you can see there was an error which is required some value. And we need some value here by default. So that's a difference from behavioral subject to normal subject. And that wrap up this demo. With the help of subject RxJS in the Angular, we can able to share or we can able to send some messages from one components to other components with either the sublink or from one model to other model, where we can share data within our Angular application. And I hope this video will be very helpful for you. If it's so, just give a thumbs up for this video and share with your friends who is working in Angular and want to share the information between components. And hope this will be very helpful, and kindly subscribe to the channel so that we will be posting each and every week a new video. And I open for any topics where you like to cover me in the upcoming weeks, so I will keep my schedules in, so we could get the topics from you, so we could able to solve your day-to-day activities or problems which you are facing in Angular. So that wrap up this video, and I am Lakshman. Thank you. Have a nice day. Peace out.